1830 was a year of revolution in Europe. Belgium, France, Switzerland, and in Greece, the struggle to independence from the Ottoman Empire was finally successful. And in this dramatic year, Poland was no exception. In this programme, we look at the November 1830 revolution, which gave the Poles 9 months of freedom, of independence, the only 9 months they had between the third partition of Poland in 1795 and the re-emergence of the Polish state after the First World War in 1918. Join us on Poland Daily History for this dramatic story.
And the Russian army came closer, came up to Warsaw, and at the outskirts of Warsaw, on the right bank, the Polish army, now regrouped, had a plan to stop the Russians at Grochów, or Olszynka Grochowska. Olszynka Grochowska, it means that there is a wood composed of alders.
Alders, yes, alders.
So that's why we have two names in Polish historiography, Grochów or Olszynka Grochowska, but this is the same. And that was a major battle, undecisive, but a great victory, once again, a great victory for the Polish side, because the Russians refused to attack, to storm Poland at Warsaw at that period. So in a sense, it was a victory.
Yes, only because that area has now become part of part of Warsaw, as the city has grown since that time.
There are monuments over there. There are streets carry names of heroes of that battle and so on. So it's very dear to our.
And then I think it's probably worth it because as we said earlier, 1830 itself had been a time of a revolution in Europe. How was this battle and this what was going on in Poland in 1830, 1831 seen across the rest of Europe?
It depends on the country. I mean, the French public opinion was very favorable. The British as well, because the time was. I mean, we have this romantic wave all across Europe. So we were, in a sense, regarded as fighters for freedom. I think values that are very dear.
I think Lafayette in Paris is one who got very excited about it, because he gets excited by revolutions, got excited by the American Revolution, the French Revolution. I mean, probably the time scale is too small. But did it attract sort of foreign volunteers? Did people come flocking to Poland to take part?
Not in a large number. I mean, there were some who fought voluntarily in the Polish army, but it's not a number that would change the effect.
And I think yes, and it's quite interesting, because I think obviously the British probably had a slightly different, because they were more worried about the sort of a rise again of sort of revolutionary thinking in France. And I think Lord Palmerston, who was at that time a major figure, was sort of very sceptical about really aiding Poland. Thought it would actually be better to try and stay on the right side of Russia, because we might, looking at from the British perspective, might actually need Russia in the future if France sort of tried to rise again. And I think also the Prussians and the Austrians were sort of a bit ambivalent, and it didn't really do much to help, but didn't necessarily hinder either.
I mean, Nobody was really. I mean, no politician, no politician in Europe was interested in really aiding the rising. I mean, the fight was first of all the fight was uncertain. I mean, the outcome was completely uncertain. Secondly, nobody wanted to engage in a war against Russia. Thirdly, the fact that the Poles were fighting, I mean, they were fighting for themselves. So again, I mean, it would be very hard to explain to the public opinion, which is at that time, I mean, which already is there at that time, that we send our boys, you know, to fight somewhere, you know,
in
where
Poland.
white bears walk on the streets.
Well, exactly. We don't want to get involved in a fight between Russia and Poland, because that's a bit complicated. It's a long way off. We don't really understand it. We've just had a big war.
Because it's one thing, you know, to support, to shout in the streets that "Vive Napoleonian" and so on, but the other, it's completely different. It's a completely different thing, you know, when you have to send your sons or husbands, you know, for such a undertaking.
Okay. So we'll be just at this stage, because we haven't actually quite got to the end of the revolution, the battle. But in political terms, what were the Poles trying to achieve? Was it in fact trying to recreate
Poland,
an independent Poland, completely free of Russian intervention
within the borders from before 1772, so from before the first partition.
So this establishing the sort of pre-first partition.
And the thing was simple. I mean, Russia occupied most of the Polish territory, so Russia was the main enemy.
So this would be to recreate Poland, to be free of Russia.